Signature, yep. You guys have any issue with that at all, for the grant monies?
No.
No, sounds great.
Okay, looking for a motion to approve the community crossings grant. And then total amount, the amount of match is $404,172.55 for the county. Total, grant request is $908,130.50. Is that correct, Phil? Yep. Look for that motion.
So moved.
Got a motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Go ahead, Phil.
Those October. Call Hudson.
Right.
I did. Same price. Price.
Do you need, okay. I don't have
Any other questions about the pickup? Ron?
No, just hoping you can get them.
Yep.
Yeah, get
Yep. That'd be the next chore, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, looking for a motion to approve, low bid for build option Ford on 2 pickup trucks. 2 2022 Ford F-250 XLTs. These are crew cab long beds. Yep.
Yep.
For a total of $76,914. Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Got a motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Possibly. So, the next request for the fuel of the past 5.
Okay.
All been rocked.
Right. Slowly get them all off there, right?
Well, that's not to be the goal.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have 45.
Still got a lot to go, yeah. Yeah. All right, got a list here of roads we've taken from minimum maintenance up to a county standard road. That'd be 950 east from 300 north to 300 north south, be a half a mile. 725 east from 0.42 miles south of 950 north south, 0.42 miles. 700 east from 675 north, half mile. 950 north from 600 east, 0.085 miles. That'd be the roads we've brought up to county standards again. So,
So confusing. I'll make a motion to approve that.
to approve that. Got a motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Oh, 100.
All right. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? You got anything else? You guys have anything else for Phil?
No.
All right.
No, we won't torture him too much
Too much
since he only
today.
has one meeting left.
I'll be back.
one more meeting.
Even after that, I'll be back.
All right, sounds good.
I appreciate it, Bill. All righty. I think we're down halfway through our agenda.
Yeah.
All right. Open bids for the rooftop AC units for the security center. We have those bids. Grant? Gary, you wanna come up?
We've got public bids for projects over at the security center. Here, I don't know if you want to speak to that briefly, and then we'll open these.
I don't think so. It's for the shingle portion of the roof, and then the air conditioning units, which you notice I'm not wearing my vest because it's too damn hot up there.
Let's do the AC units first.
It's unbearable. $95.
Okay, let's start with the AC units. We've got a bid for DeBraw Kemple in Evansville. Somebody from that company here? And just for the audience, generally what would happen is we would take the bids under advisement, let Gary look them over, and then at the next meeting, decide what is the lowest responsive and responsible bid. Okay, Gary, I don't know if you want to come over here and show me what we're looking at. Looks like with DeBraw Kemple, we're replacing the AAON units 1 through 9. There's a base bid, several alternate bids. Initial quote here is for $620,015. There's several alternates as well bid. And it's 1 through, they have a bid bond in here. And all the required information. Thank you. Okay, this is for H.G. Hines. Hi. The bid for $630,000. Have the required information. Looks like they have some alternates quoted as well. Bid bond. Next one is HFI Mechanical and Building Solutions. Okay, base bid is $667,000. $667,667. Couple sevens. The alternates are also priced. A couple of the alternates, not all of them. We have Heflin Industries. base bid from them is $580,000. There are a few alternates listed as well. Those are all the bids that we have
For the
for
rooftop.
that initial project.
Okay, we'll go ahead and, let's,
This, I believe, is for the shingle portion. Shingle. Huntingburg Machine Works here. These were stacked, I believe, for the shingle portion, but if they are for the HVAC portion, we can,
Amend the motion.
yeah. So, again, I would like it if Gary and the auditor and whoever's been working on this to take these under advisement and then determine what our best option is for the base bid and the alternates.
yeah, so I'll look for a motion to, take the rooftop AC bids under advisement.
So moved.
Who was, I think Ron was first.
That was second.
Okay. Ron, got a motion by Ron, second by Nathan Gabhart, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we'll go ahead and,
My office. But it's email. Eligible. Is bids will be accepted, so I don't know if that matters. That's new to me.
If it doesn't specify, I'd say it probably counts.
do you have it there in front of you?
We have it upstairs. She said it was handled. I'll have her.
Can you have it printed out and bring it down,
That
and
out,
then we'll read it?
It's the stamp, date and time
Yeah,
stamp.
and then bring it down, and we'll read that also here before the meeting's over with. All right, if you guys want to go ahead and proceed with the other bids there.
And they will have to follow all the remaining details within the bids, but there's no reason to not get that information and put it out.
Yep.
You want me to wait on that, or you want to?
Go ahead and open these
Okay.
other bids here.
This is for the shingle portion. This is a bid from Daviess County Metal Sales.
They will print it out. Tell me.
Honeyburg Machine Works.
This is
Okay, so we've got it physically, and they've also sent us an email.
Okay.
Okay, so the bid for, again, the re-roofing portion. Primary bid is for $118,700. Was there any details or add-ons? Bonds in there. This next one is Honeyburg Machine Works. And this is for the rooftop AC units, so let's them,
All right, let's hang on here, let's hang on 1 second here then. So DC Metals, we only had one bid on it, correct? Okay, I guess we can go ahead and award them that. So I'll look for a motion to award DC Metal Sales the shingle portion of the security center. Yes, that was,
I have a question.
yep.
When we looked this for, you had one from Graver Post as well. Did they not submit anything this time? too busy, I don't know.
Look for a motion for that. So moved by Nathan Gabhart. Yeah,
Second.
Second by Ron Arnold. Ron Arnold, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So DCMO got the, so let's back up to the, we'll go back on the agenda here to the, rooftop ACs and add one more company to the, bid list.
This will be the fifth bid for this particular project for the rooftop AC units. The base bid is for $850,000. Huntingburg here. Assuming this lines up with the bill that you got. It wasn't an addition. Okay.
Is that just one base bid, or they get the alternates in the base bid, or what? No?
It doesn't look like there are alternates bid in here. Not that I see. Again, recommendation is take this under advisement, see what's the best option, and then proceed from there.
What was the name of that company again?
Huntingburg Machine Works.
Okay, I'll look to amend the motion, the first motion, and add Huntingburg, Machine Works, the rooftop AC, taken under advisement.
So moved.
Motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
This information is publicly available if any of the bidders would like to review it or have access to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Grant. Thanks, Gary. There, if it needs them, okay, appreciate it. Thanks, guys. All right, we got the county adoption of multi-hazard mitigation plan. Scott Myers. Morning, Scott.
Just have a request for adoption resolution of the hazardous mitigation plan. That plan is basically renewed every 5 years based on the past several years. We've had a little extension this year due to COVID. But that plan is a FEMA plan that highlights all the hazards and risks that are associated with the county and communities, and each community will adopt their portion of the plan, and then the county adopts the plan as well. This allows for any mitigation that you put in for federal grant requests, that they will be accepted as and reviewed, but if you do not have a plan adopted, you will likely be put on the bottom of the list of the requests. So
Many changes to it.
there were just minor changes, but nothing, it's just most everything is weather related, whether it be tornadoes, floods, snowstorms, that type of things for our community, and they just kind of shifted order of those, but that's basically all there was.
Okay. I wouldn't want to take time to read all that. That's pretty
Yeah, well, it's
big booklet.
it's a pretty long ordeal to get it all approved by FEMA and everything
Yeah.
else, yes.
Sounds good. You guys have any more questions for Scott on that?
I do not.
You don't want to read that either?
160 pages worth, no, I think it's fine.
So
If you want to go to sleep, it'll let you sleep.
look for a motion to adopt the multi-hazard mitigation plan. Got a motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold, all in favor.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Scott. All right, pest control quotes, Scott Snare. Morning, Scott.
You guys should have the quotes in your packet.
Yep.
As far as pest control, we have very minimum need for it. I have tried to do at least the outside twice a year when the temperatures, seasons change. Now with the addition of this building, we needed some new quotes, and so I contacted every locally owned Daviess County pest business that I could find, and I have 4 quotes were submitted. One did not have the right details in it. I asked him to correct it, resubmit it. There was no response. So I have 3 quotes for you. Hazeman Pest Control with the added termite treatment. Be $1,467. Quote for $1,280 a year. Would include a 15-year treatment for termites, which at that time may or may not have to be redone. So the average of 15 years and that cost, $187 a month, comes to $1,467 a year. And that is doing two sprays per year. And also, we are treating ants at the community corrections, and we also spray the old county highway building. The next bid came from Advanced Pest Solutions. Their bid of $2,700 a year. They also have a termite system. Is a one-time setup fee for $3,100, and it's good for the life of the building. If there is activity and the bait needs replaced, that will be our only cost for here on out. So if we average it over 10 years, the total cost is right over $3,000 a year. We average that for 20 years at $155. The yearly cost will be $2,855. Third bid is from Hands Pest Control here in town for $3,732 per year. So we've not had a contract this far. 8 years I've been here. It's worked well, very good, for the fact that if either Daviess County or the vendor themselves, a problem arises, either one of us can go our separate ways. So then it will fall to the next bidder in line. So I bring that to you to make the decision. Once again, that's Hazeman Pest Control. Total amount, $1,467. Advanced Pest Solutions. Total amount, right at $3,000. And Hands Pest Control, $3,700.32. And that's all.
That's per year on.
That's per year.
On Hands too.
Yes. That includes this building, courthouse, community corrections, Old County Highway building.
Right.
Like I say, we don't have hardly any problems whatsoever. Start seeing signs, it's getting that time of year.
You guys, gentlemen, have any questions for Scott?
Just to be clear, how long period is this contract for? Will they guarantee this per year, or
I told every party there's no contract.
So it's just the first year?
Yes, so as long as they honor this bid, we will use that company that's awarded the bid.
Okay, so no contract, it's just
Right.
this year's service?
Because there's been 2 vendors I've worked with over 8 years that something would happen and we parted ways.
Okay.
So it's much easier for the county just to turn around and go to the next guy in line.
Yeah, I mean, the only discussion point I've got is you basically, I don't think anything's really broken right now. I think we use a couple of vendors. Just the question I had in my mind is just the reason of using two different vendors and knowing what one's doing versus the other, and is there any benefit of just having one vendor? That way, one person knows your entire operation, so to speak. And I'm agnostic on who we use. And I'm okay, I mean, under Scott Schneer, I mean, I'm okay using multiple vendors, but, just thinking forward, having more consistency and consolidation where, if you have one person to call if you have issues. So I guess my question is you want to leave it as is and use, because right now we use two vendors
Yes.
currently. Or should we consolidate? I mean, I don't even know who we're currently using. I know we're using Hands on a couple, and then which one of these other ones are we using?
Advanced Pest.
Advanced Pest,
Yes.
okay.
Those are the guys who came to me.
Mhm.
When I hired in 8 years ago, that's who we were using, was Hands. We just carried that on. They did a good job for us. They do a good job for us. Advance had come to me wanting some work. So there was pieces at the courthouse. He sprayed. This building had basically stood open for 2 years with no door seals. They came in and sprayed this building before anything was brought over, any people was in there. That's one thing we don't want to do is spray too much inside at all. So unless there's a problem spot, problem area, we'll take care of that. That would always be additional.
Anything else for Scott?
I don't have any other questions.
So, right now, I mean, you want to accept all these bids, or do you want to just accept one?
I would suggest you pick one company and,
Yeah, this is just for 1 year, so,
yes.
yeah. Gentlemen, do you guys just want to accept one of these bids, a little bit on it?
Well, really, it's just for 1 month if there's no contract.
Okay.
They're locking the
I
price. for
said
you.
we could revisit this in a year, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
Yeah, and so like with the current termite stations we currently have, are those transferable? So, or is the company who put those in, do they have to maintain those? If we switch companies, does a new company maintain those?
The new company would come in and they would give full protection around the building. As far as, heated concrete to disturb. As it is right now, our termite system was brought over from the houses and it's only about halfway around. So I think there's 44% of the buildings not protected right now.
Of this new building?
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, that would go out. The new company would bring theirs in.
So I guess my only concern with the three bids is basically the two higher bids, or the two you're currently using and have relationships with. The third bid is half of that, and we've never used that company before, and you don't have a relationship with that company. So I would just have a little bit of apprehension removing your two current partners and bringing in a new person that's 50% of the bid. And are you gonna get the same product, the same quality of this company that you may or may not know?
Well, that's the beauty of having no contract.
Are you comfortable with that?
If they come in, they don't meet our standards, that's where Daviess County pulls out, uses the next person in line.
Okay. I'm right in the middle.
I'd take Scott's recommendation.
Yeah.
All right, look for a motion to take Scott's recommendation and I guess basically accept all these bids.
Yep.
And use the low bid until it's no longer feasible. So, got a motion?
That's okay with me. That's why I came to you guys to make the decision.
Okay. I'll make the motion.
Okay, got a motion by Nathan Gambart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Scott.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, number 9, you got coronavirus, state and local fiscal recovery funds. Dan Murray. Morning, sir.
Good morning. All right, thank you for willingness to talk about this. I sent an email, and I will share this with Patty, but that's from it didn't have a lot of context, but that's the U.S. Treasury frequently asked questions, and one of the responses to what we can use some of the coronavirus money for. Today, I'm not putting specifics in place, just want to make you aware of the background and why I might be asking for supplemental salary. I'm not going to ask for another slot or anything like that, because I do feel like, pardon me, this is something we can get through. But I thought I might give some context to the request. In Daviess County in 2020, we had 2,100 cases pending, and we filed 1,436 new. It's really hard to get a grasp on that because they're constantly being closed. But I have 3 full-time criminal prosecutors and 2 part-time criminal. One does part-time juvenile, one does part-time child support. So that's essentially being passed across 4 people, which leaves a caseload of over 500 per person. Now, if a public defender had that, that would never happen. They get limited, I believe, at like 140. I'm not saying we have the same job, but just for context, it shows you some of the disparity. I hate to compare myself or my office to those counties around me, but for context, Knox County, no offense to my Knox County, but who has 3 courts. All this is in one court also that we're running these cases through. They had a backlog of 2,500, so almost the same, 2,200 to 2,500. They're bigger than us. And then Greene County, who's almost exactly the same size, had a backlog of 772, almost a third, but filed about 1,100, so close to where we were. I would like for you to consider, even if it's a one-time package deal, just some of this coronavirus money being sent my direction, not for me, not even for my chief deputy, but for the other 3 who are part of this program, because they're going to have to work a lot more overtime, potentially even on weekends. What this translates to, for instance, is the cases that we closed last year, a little over 1,000, just in quantifiable terms, which may appeal to some of you. That's 32,000 emails that were processed by my office between March 2020 and March 2021. So there's real water going under the bridge. There's a lot of freight that's being moved. And this is just an attempt to recognize the people that are doing it. Like I said, I don't personally benefit. I have no interest in personally benefiting from this. I didn't run for this office to enrich myself. It was to try to help people. But it's another thing too, whenever you see the people you're working with and you want to do better by them. And of those of you who are in the private sector know as well that coronavirus has a weird effect on the economy in that it has raised all the boats in the harbor, and it's continually more difficult to find good people. And everywhere you look, you see people asking for employees. And, you know, I drove by Lowe's in Bloomington, and they were offering starting salary $18 an hour. And I have a deputy prosecutor who's working tough cases like rapes and child molestings. He's making $35 an hour. That doesn't equate to me. I also saw an advertisement. I kind of look on monster.com just to see what's around for competitive purposes. You know, he could go become a manager at Sport Clips and make that kind of money. Now, I don't begrudge people for the money they make. I think it's great. I never say to another man, you don't deserve what you're making. But I do feel like this is an opportunity to recognize some of the work that these deputies are doing. And I would just like for you to consider it in whatever way, shape, or form makes sense to you. I think I've made the case that that this fund can be used for that purpose. I'm not going to come to you with a specific ask today because I don't think that's fair to you. You're only hearing about it for the first time. But I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
So, to make sure I understand this correctly, Dan, so the overall goal is to increase the compensation for some of your team members and then to add new team members?
No new team members.
So, I guess I just have this questions. So how does increasing the pay increase productivity? If you have the same person?
It doesn't on like an hourly basis. It's just saying you're going to have to work way more hours than you ever did. So my guys aren't paid hourly. They're just paid by production.
salary, okay.
And it is a recognition that their caseload, that the cases they have to dispose of is higher. But it's a great question.
And I'm just thinking out loud, I mean, from a long-term perspective, if you work people harder, typically that's a longer pathway because you can only do that so long. When should you increase your bandwidth and bring on more people?
So I definitely like the way you're thinking.
Okay.
The way I read this particular, I'm gonna use this word, Patty, grant, is that this is specifically identified as funds to help reduce the backlog. And I don't think it would be fair to you for me to ask for a slot until I can see what it looks like once we get past that backlog. And I don't think, I'm not gonna ask for something unless I really need it. What I'm saying is my people, I think, can push through this and get us back to some sort of equilibrium. Because ideally, Nathan, I mean, the same thing in business. I wanna close about as many cases as I open in a year. I mean, that's only what's fair to the people who are waiting on their cases to be disposed of. So knowing that, I know I'm behind the 8 ball. I know I'm gonna try, but I do feel like with my existing structure, even if this is a 1 or 2 year bonus system for them to recognize, hey, I need you to push through this, and then when we get through this, 2022, 2023, I think the numbers come back to normal. I don't foresee this spike in crime that some people do. I foresee us like not being able to get people into court, not being able to get it done, and this backlog continuing for a period of time, and then it goes back down. Like I said, we're pushing all these through 1 court. Knox County's pushing it through 3. Greene County's pushing it through 2.
So then the question comes up, you give additional pay, take care of the backlog. The backlog's gone, does the pay go away?
I would tell them that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I am, but I like to be transparent all the time. And I would say, look, I'm not saying I wouldn't make a case for them another day to other people given that. But I'm saying right now, this is a recognition of the situation that we're in, because it is. And this is not Daviess County taxpayer money that I'm asking for. This is coronavirus relief, and it's designed to attack a specific problem that I feel like we have. And I do feel like there's solutions that we're putting into place that are really going to attack this as well, but it's just going to be a time crunch for my people, and it's a bigger caseload than they're accustomed to carrying.
I guess it's just my last thought there would be, I'd be more inclined to consider, funding additional overtime to get caught up. I'm a little bit more reluctant to fund team members that have gone above and beyond during a trying time, because then we've got, 199 other people who probably have went above and beyond. So if we need additional overtime to get caught up, I think that's a very rational request. But if it's these sort of temporary bonuses to reward them for past work, I think that's a little bit more challenging, just because where do we stop? Which department do we stop that on?
So there's 2 answers I would have to that. One is, however you want to frame it's fine. My people are working their hours they work, and I have no question about that. Just the numbers speak for themselves. If you want to look at what we just closed in 2020 alone.
I don't.
I'm just saying, it would probably shock. We have to close 5 or 6 cases a day, all the time, 7 days a week. So, yeah, I would agree with that insofar in that. But there's another side to the coin where I don't begrudge another man for the money he makes. That is,
Yeah, sure.
if other people deserve the money, have their boss walk through that door and
Make the case,
for it.
yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah.
That's it.
Sounds good.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Dan. Yep. All right, we got SIDC, Housing and Community Development Authority. Morning.
believe you have a grant modification for our owner occupied rehabilitation.
I do, yep.
And so clarify that.
Yeah. You guys had a chance to look that over? You guys have any questions on that?
No.
All right, look for a motion to approve the IHCDA contract here.
So moved.
Got a motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second,
second by Ron Arnold, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Appreciate it, Greg.
while we have Mr. Jones here.
Yep.
Greg, could you speak about the request that came in late for the meeting about Southwest Regional?
Sure. So, as you know, the ready applications are being put together right now. There's a couple different regions that Daviess County is looking at right now, and hasn't agreed to anyone yet, as I know. But you have ROI, and then you also have Indiana 15 that is working with the Southwest Indiana Development Corporation Council. And so they are, Indiana 15 is a sister agency to my organization. They cover different counties. We do a lot of the same different work, but they're doing a lot of the data gathering to help put an application in for the SWIDC. And so I think they have a request today in order to receive some GIS information, and that GIS information would be able to be used for them putting the application together, have all the right data so that they can give all the metrics to the state of Indiana on what the programs are, and then be able to judge it on its value later on hopefully after award. But you're not obligating yourself with this request. You're just, giving over the data. That way those projects can be compiled. And that's really an important thing right now, is getting all those projects down on paper. That way they can go up to the state and be judged.
That's all you need, just use of GIS then.
So we need to decide
Actually, I don't know if we do
It came in, but it's not part of our packet.
So
If you
this
got it.
generally goes through Denny. He usually brings those requests from
Okay.
GIS, and we usually work, there's a procedure that we generally follow, goes through Denny handles the GIS request, and he brings them before the commissioners, so.
Okay, that will work then.
Is there a time frame on this?
application.
Okay, so you
We got
got time
time,
for our
yeah,
next
yeah.
meeting.
So if we wanna get that to Denny, then Patty.
Basically, the way I understand it is Daviess County becomes part of 2 regions and 2 applications.
Right. And you would, more than likely, what you would do is Daviess County is designate a primary and a secondary on this. And you would probably have some regions that would go, or some projects that would be part of one package and some projects that would be part of a different package.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, if you wanna bring it up here, just actually hand it to our auditor over here, Patty Ball. Thank you very much. Good.
Denny's in which office?
Assessors.
Assessor's
Yep.
office. I'll take them down to.
Okay, appreciate it, Greg. Yeah, thank you. All right. Four. Yeah, but you wanna run to the office first? Well, I think
Going.
if, whatever process we've had in the past on this, have Denny bring it to us and we'll prove it in the next commission meeting. Yep.
Have you spoken to Bryant Niehoff about this? Yes, and that, he's aware of SWIDAC applying as well? Okay. I mean, he should really be the lead on this. Okay, but I think he's on vacation.
All right, next item on the agenda is appraisals for 204 East Main Street, which would be the old National Bank building. We've got, 2 appraisals back, one for Ben Hopkins and one from Ken Murray. Actually, his bills are here. So from Ben Hopkins, the appraised market value came back at $83,000 for the old National Bank building. Ken Murray, the price came back at $77,000 on the old National Bank building. We take the two and average them together on that grant, so it'd come back around 80,000, is that correct, and what the appraised value of that property would be?
Yeah, and you can set the minimum in your resolution at sort of whatever your preference. It doesn't specify in the statute, but my understanding from you all is that $80,000 would be a number that you're comfortable with setting as a minimum bid. In addition to number 11 there, you've got number 12, which is a resolution.
Real property, yeah.
Proceeding with the sale of that building. You will, you can set the timelines, you can set the price. What we've put together here is a minimum price of not less than $80,000 and an advertising starting, we were gonna put the advertising out as soon as we approve this today.
Right.
If you are interested in proceeding. And then the receipt of bids for a few weeks through August the 6th. Under that statute, there's also an opportunity for people to bid in addition to what they've already done, so to come higher than what's previously been said. So anybody will have the opportunity to do that in accordance with the statute. And the purpose of the resolution is just to have a process of sorts, and I can answer any questions if you'd like.
So this would be an open bid process, and we put the time frame on it. If we don't get the 80,000 minimum bid, then we can sell it for the highest bid if we choose to do so.
You can sell it for whatever price you set, which is above that minimum bid.
But we could change the minimum bid if we don't get any bids.
Correct.
I mean, we just want to move the property.
Just wanna get rid of it.
Rid of the property, yeah.
I agree.
So I did say August the 6th. I don't know if that's enough time in your all's opinion, but even after that, if additional bids come in after they've seen what the other prices are, if somebody really wants it, they can do that under the statute and under this resolution. So you might just say a week thereafter or something if there are additional higher bids. It's your prerogative.
You guys have anything else on the resolution for that?
No.
No.
You guys comfortable with the time frame, or do you want to change
I
that
think
time frame?
I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah.
I think
that's
so
fine.
too. I mean, that's 3 weeks. So,
And a reminder, just so you all know, it does say that it gives authority then for the president of the commissioners to then close that transaction. And all the bids are open for inspection. And if someone wants to bid an additional amount, you may just want to have that drop dead date so that they're not trickling in and trickling in.
right. Sounds good. All right. No other questions on the resolution. Look for a motion to approve resolution of the Board of Commissioners approving the sale of real estate property at 204 East Main Street.
So moved.
Got a motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Michael, if
Yeah.
you could also address on the appraisals, there was invoices that were
Yeah.
put,
I'll do that next. I did see those. Thank you.
thank you.
these appraisals, we got from Kim Murray, invoice here for $900 for those appraisals. Like to look for a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Got a motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I got a second, appraisal here from Ben Hopkins, his invoice is $1,250. Look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Got a motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Getting through the stack. All right, we got our ARPA request, Town of Montgomery. Have anybody from Montgomery here? Need to send that here somewhere.
Mike Healy dropped that off as official request to the commissioners, and then I think, it's my understanding that you want that to be forwarded to the ARPA committee.
Yeah. You guys have any questions on this from the Town of Montgomery?
I don't have any questions, but yeah, I think perhaps the ARPA committee could review it.
Likewise, is it your, direction on the request from Dan Murray to also do that, to forward that to the ARPA committee?
Yeah, I think so. I think we should do that too. So this is just FYI. Yeah, so we'll send this on Town of Montgomery's, request for the ARAP money, or ARPA money, sent on to the, committee, also with Dan Murray's request.
Do you have any, we're sending it on, I think, that committee's meeting tomorrow morning,
Okay.
but do you have any thoughts? I think there's a time frame on this when they have to know for another grant
Montgomery.
that they're going after, so,
You guys are having a meeting tomorrow.
yes.
Give it time
Just
frame here.
all I'm looking for is some direction on
Yeah.
if you'd support it or a portion of it, or just what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be challenging. I mean, I could go either way on it. If the task force sees some sort of clarity on why we should do it, it just, is always reluctant to get too involved in the municipalities, businesses, so to speak. And a $1.2 million request, it's gonna zap that fund
Yeah,
pretty hard.
A little rich.
Yeah.
So
I'd just let them,
I'll need to be talked into it a little.
yeah, I mean, we could let the committee review it and
Yeah.
come back if they have a figure that are more comfortable with or something. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll keep those laid out separately so that way you guys get that to your meeting. All right, coverage bridge certification.
That's just part of the official record. We have no covered bridges. I've certified that with the state.
Yeah, those are
Comes
that's the
through.
easy one.
Yeah.
Easy,
Easy peasy, yeah.
easy, yes.
So I look for a motion to accept the covered bridge certification for Davis County, as of 0 bridges in Davis County that are covered. So moved by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold, all in favor.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. We got a request from the auditor's office for additional of a full-time staff member, and we got a letter here from Patty Ball. guess you guys had a chance to read her letter, and Patty, if you want to speak on that behalf.
As you know, we're currently submitting our budgets for 2022, and as the executive body, and I know sometimes we don't follow this as well as we should, so I want to set a good example, and that is to come before the commissioners as the executive part to ask for the approval to add staff, and then, of course, it'll be in our budget and presented to the county council for the fiscal responsibility of adding a position. So as I put in my letter that it's due to the increased request, both from the state and local, that we have on our office. As you know, we've worked on this for a couple of years under the direction of both the commissioners and council to try to work with part-time positions, and we have, but we're really at the point where we do need additional staffing to help maintain the highest standards for our office, and that's my request. And then 2022 will be my last official year as the auditor, and we'll be training in a new auditor-elect. Hopefully we'll know that, identify that person and be able to get the transition started. So that's a big part of this request as well.
Right.
So are the part-time, what's the future of the part-timers that you're currently using?
We're funding our part-time. We still have a part-time clerical line in our, right now we're utilizing 3 part-time
Okay.
positions, hours, and I'll be working on the staffing to see if any of those might be eligible to go to full-time, or if they have that desire, or we'll be looking at the total to see if we can compensate a little bit and change up some of our part-time hours. Part of our part-time hours is paid with county general money. Part of it is paid with through another fund called auditors and eligible expenses. So we try to utilize as much as we can.
Sure. I didn't know if we were planning on taking adding a net 40 hours, or we're going to take a part-timer, half FTE and make them a full FTE.
We're looking at doing the latter.
Okay.
Any more questions on that?
No.
You guys have any thoughts, on
No, I mean, I think we've rode the part-time train, as long as we could. I mean, obviously, a full-time brings about another 14,000 in additional cost, but sometimes you can only ride the part-timers as long as we can, and we're really dependent upon the department head, that final decisions.
Patty's office has been overwhelmed pretty good. I'm up there frequently, and they're constantly busy, and their heads down, so. Yeah, I know they need somebody else in the auditor's office. So I'll look for a motion then to approve another full-time position for the auditor's office.
So moved.
Had a motion by Ron Arnold,
Second.
second by Nathan Gabhart. All in favor?
And we
Aye.
acknowledge that we
Motion
know that's presented to the council for the fiscal responsibility of
Right.
that, if they'll fund it or not, but at least you've given us permission to
Yes.
ask, so we appreciate that.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
All right, remote meeting policy.
I'll speak to this if that's okay.
Yep.
There was a change in the Indiana code relative to participation in electronic meetings, or electronic participation in meetings. And I was asked by a handful of people if there was interest to put a policy together. And we've gathered a handful of policies and put a draft together. Talked to the auditor a little bit about it. She had some good feedback on how to best approach that. And I think I think her request is that membership be allowed to participate. Perhaps don't want full electronic participation from the public. And obviously, this is a policy decision on your part. If this is something that the commissioners wish to do, it's written as a joint policy between commissioners and council, but it could be separated if there are things that you want, and there are things that they want, which that has been the case in the past where there are different wishes just in operations.
Right.
Certainly, it probably makes sense. There does appear to be interest at this point to have,
Or just a membership only on.
Membership only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could go both ways. I mean, I'm okay membership only. I'm okay keeping it wide open if the audience wants to participate electronically. And then if we see there's any issues or people from different states trying to tap in and just being trolls or whatever they call them. But I could go either way. Ron, what do you think?
I agree with Michael. And again, as long as it could be controlled, but you're opening up a can of worms if you let
We could
everybody
al-
participate.
Yeah, they
We could always revisit this in the future if we get requests, more and more requests for doing a Zoom meeting while we're having our meeting, then maybe we revisit this.
And if it's your wish that only the membership of the boards be allowed to participate this way, it's a simple modification to this document, so it's whatever your pleasure.
Go ahead, Patty.
A variation of both is what I think might be an option for us. My biggest concern that I talked to Grant about was our current capability, about the numbers of participants coming into a meeting. We have utilized a conference call. We've also utilized Zoom meetings. So there's options there if, for instance, a presenter needs to present electronically or use some other method. That part I am in favor of, and it still contribute to our meetings. The problem that I have is we don't currently have the capabilities to just open it to anyone that wants to participate in a meeting, and that would be a huge
Yeah.
undertaking.
I agree. If they're on the agenda and they need a Zoom in and they're on the agenda,
Okay, I do.
but just the mass public would be a little challenging.
Challenging, yeah.
Yeah, and all that needs to be kind of worked through with the board and with my office, because we live stream YouTube, so that participation level, they can't come back in through that method right now. So,
I'd make a recommendation, we table this and bring it back when we've got all the details.
Yeah, I'd like to get it going. I mean, I think we've got, I'm not against that, but
the main goal is to afford you as commissioners the opportunity to participate in your responsibilities and to be able to vote, because under, last year when we were under the executive orders, things changed, and we saw the benefit of that, you know, for the good of the whole board individually. So that's just been my,
yeah. No, I agree. And to Ron's point, how about this? How about we, I think the
table-
general direction is that we participate, the agenda,
Well, that's what I was gonna say, if we could maybe modify how this is written,
and then bring it to the next meeting.
bring it to the next meeting, we can modify this to where the members can do it, and then anybody on the agenda can do it. That way it would keep it just to the agenda only, right? That'd be fine with you, Ron?
If she's got the technology for agenda items.
I think we do on that, don't we?
we're close, much closer to being able to achieve that.
Yeah, I think we can get that done, so. I guess I'll look for a motion to, table the electronic attendance policy for the meetings for Davis County.
So moved.
A motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second.
second by Ron Arnold, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So you want to make those changes on that grant, and then we'll revisit it again next meeting.
Do it.
And we got Indiana 15. 15. That's all I got on that one, so I don't know what's
We
going.
went down and spoke to their offices. Denny's not in there today. Basically, what they've told us is that they don't think there's going to be any issues. They don't really have a policy on this, other than Denny approves it, and they can't reach Denny.
Okay.
And so what they would like for us to do is to sign the agreement, and they would hold it, and wait for Denny's approval, and then that way that allows them to get started on the data 2 weeks quicker, once Denny has the approval on it, so.
Okay. This is from WTH.
Yeah.
Oh, it says, okay.
So basically, we would be signing this with the condition that Denny approves it.
Denny approves it later, yeah.
I have no issue with that.
Is that a motion, Ron?
Yes.
Second.
Got a motion by Ron Arnold, second by Nathan Gabhart, to approve the limited use agreement for GIS.
Thank you.
Thank you.
if you're as effective as Mr. Jones, certainly appreciated.
Thank you very much. Nobody's asleep yet.
It's getting pretty quiet out there.
I think we got through everything, looks like. All right. Anything from the audience? Anybody got anything? Nope. All right, Ron, you said you had one to speak here.
I tell you what, you've all worn me out today, and it's been a long agenda, so I think it can wait till the next meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody else have anything? Nathan?
No, yes, sir.
Grant? All right. With that, look for a motion to pay payroll, pay claims, and adjournment.
So moved.
A motion by Nathan Gabhart,
Second?
second by Ron Arnold. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. They have a, I didn't get a copy of that maybe. I don't know if I just gotta go back in this or not, so I'll ask her. Right here, I can probably run back here and get a copy so you can sign.
Yeah. Good.